Welcome to the CareerJitsu podcast, where we connect the art of Jiu-Jitsu with your career. Our mission is to empower and inspire you with engaging conversations and valuable insights from people just like you who benefit from the shared relationship between your workplace and the art of Jiu-Jitsu, leading you to a more fulfilling and successful life. Jason Patterson and Frank D'Amelio. Today, we are so excited to introduce our guest. His name is Mike Nichols. Mike is a registered nurse. He has worked in a variety of settings in the medical field, giving him a broad range of knowledge and skills in his profession. He is also a purple belt in BJJ and has been training Jiu-Jitsu for about 10 to 12 years. To our listeners, I am so happy to get Mike on our show because he is not only a professional, both on and off the mats, but he is also a great friend that we have come to know him personally too, Frank. So this is going to be an exciting episode.
Yeah, he's a very, very wise individual, has helped me a lot in jiu-jitsu with my game, very patient. He's a great teacher, he's a great friend, and he's a consummate professional. So let's kick this off, Mike, with what originally got you interested in jiu-jitsu?
Well, I always loved martial arts. As a child, I took Kempo, karate. I went to college, and after college, I became a registered nurse. And I only worked 12-hour shifts. I had 12-hour shifts a week. So I had like time. I had like 4 days off during the week. And so I wanted to get back into martial arts. So I came down to actually this dojo, as a matter of fact, and I met Jason. And I took a class and I fell in love with it. And I just kept coming.
You didn't look
couldn't stop.
back.
I didn't look back. Yeah.
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 So one of the things that we've talked about a lot, you've had so many different positions in healthcare. And one of your most, I think, demanding and stressful used to work like in the emergency room, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
And that is the highest stress job I think you've had,
Yeah.
if you compare them all.
By far.
How did that, being in that environment, help you with jiu-jitsu? And how did being in jiu-jitsu help you in that environment?
Well, in jiu-jitsu, you
You're always under stress,
yeah, always under stress.
always under pressure,
Yeah.
right? You have to think quickly. And you've told me some stories about the emergency room that are just crazy.
Yeah.
Not only treating people, but dealing with people walking in bravado, like my daughter's going to be seen right now. You understand me?
Yeah.
And I think you even had a really good story about somebody who came in and the two security guards couldn't really handle the person, and you were able to handle the person, get him down
Yeah.
safely.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that story.
So, the one of the patients was a psych patient, and he thought he saw something in the window, and so he was going towards the window. He kind of wanted to like, jump out the window, and I think he thought it was a door or something. So one security guard grabbed him and tried to stop him, and the patient kind of elbowed him in the face and knocked him onto the ground. So another security guard came running over to grab him. So now you have two security guards, one on each arm, but they're pulling him in opposite directions. So they can't really, they were unable.
No rhyme or reason, no technique.
No,
just
nothing.
pure. They were probably big, right?
Yeah, one of
Big
them was
guys?
big. One of them was a smaller guy, but the other guy was pretty big.
All right.
But they couldn't get him on the ground because they were like opposite forces. You know what I mean? Like pushing in different directions. So I come running around from the desk, and I just told him to let him go. I said, let him go, let him go. And they're like, no, no. I said, no, let him go. So he let him go. So I just came up behind him. I just kind of broke his posture, took him down to the ground very gently, and just kind of put him in a nice little hold, And I just kind of said to him, I says, are you okay? He's like, yes. I said, how about we get you up and we walk you back to your room? And he says, okay, that'll work. That'll be fine. So we got him up and we walked him back to the room, and that was it. One of the security guards got a black eye. The other security guard broke his finger. So, yeah.
And you just did it with ease.
It was, yeah.
Jason, isn't that incredible? That technique and that calmness under a high pressure situation where somebody's going to hurt themselves.
Yeah, it's a mindset that you develop through training. You're able to remain calm under pressure like that. And what's amazing is that somebody who is a trained individual when they have to utilize force against an untrained individual, it's extremely easy. It doesn't seem like it, but all of a sudden you've been training all of these years and something happens and the person that you have to isolate or get down to the ground and get control of, they don't train. And it's amazing how easy it is. You've done it. You did it in 30 seconds, and you're holding them down, and you're like, wow, this person's not even escaping. Like,
Right.
how are
Yeah.
they not escaping? Because you're used to,
They're not shrimping out.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not putting their frames up,
yeah.
right?
Well, you're used to training with people who are also trained. So
Yeah.
those people, they're able to escape those positions that you end up in. But somebody who's untrained and they're just seeing red and they're angered and they're flipping out. You know what to do and you know how to control them with ease, and it's an awesome thing. It's an awesome thing to feel, and I think that mindset too, Mike, what you're talking about there in high pressure situations is that you were able to stay calm and focused because that person was wanting to hurt you or other people. And by you staying calm and focused, you didn't get nervous and you were able to react appropriately in that
Right.
circumstance.
Right.
So, I say this all the time. Consistency in your training builds competency, and competency builds confidence.
That's a great chain. I like that. Say that one more
Yes.
time. Consistency.
Consistency builds competency.
Hmm.
Competency builds confidence.
And
There-
you saw that unfold right on the
Yes.
hospital floor.
Yes. Another time, I wanted to bring a point up is a guy swung at me.
In the emergency room
in
is
the
another,
emergency-
yeah.
And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened from the moment he swung at me. All I remember is that I had him from the back and I had broken his posture and I kind of had him in a like a awkward position.
Kind of like a seatbelt.
I don't
from the back.
remember him swinging at me. I just reacted and ended up in that position. It was baffling.
That is crazy.
And I asked him, I said, are you good? And he started swearing at me. So I just put him on the ground. I put him in a Kimura. And like you said, it was easy. He doesn't know how to escape.
Right.
So
And
I
we
could just hold
forget-
my position until people came and helped me and subdue him and put him into the bed. You
Right.
know what I mean?
I remember you telling me like the security guards really appreciated having you around
Yeah, sometimes
because
yeah.
you were so gentle with people.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want to hurt them, right? And you were
that's
able to.
The good thing about jujitsu is that you know, it's the gentle art, right? You can subdue somebody without hurting them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Versus
That's
other-
where the gentle art. Sometimes when I'm on the mats, I don't feel like it's a gentle art.
So, Mike, can you? This is the big question I think our listeners want to know. Can you choke out Frank?
Plenty. I as a matter
All
of
right.
fact, I have choked out Frank.
All right, because this is going to end up coming out in the interview. Mike Nichols, I have never tapped him in his entire career, but I'm going to. So I'm saying it here for the record. Mike Nichols, you're going down one of these days in my north south.
So-
it's going to happen.
Jay still has the T-shirt because we
Yes.
got a deal. If he gets me, he gets a T-shirt. So there's a lot of dust on that T-shirt.
A lot of dust.
It's been sitting on my shelf for a number of years now.
Listen, I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
Yeah,
That makes me sleep at night.
Yeah.
absolutely, Frank.
Confidence
right.
is 20%. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's keep this going a little bit and transition away from the physical part, Mike, and talk a little bit about the mental side of things and the mental benefits that you have achieved through jiu-jitsu and in your workplace. Okay.
Sure.
So I know you talked a little bit about anxiety before.
Mhm.
Everyone has anxiety.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a certain level of anxiety. Everybody even like people who are considered to be bipolar. They have bipolar is nothing more than depression and anxiety,
Mhm.
right? So you either have, you're either, some people have a high level of that and some people have a low level of that. I think everybody has some level of bipolar in them, right?
Of course.
So they have like a low level that they can control and it's not obvious, But so in the circumstance with needing to manage anxiety, right? Can you talk a little bit about what jujitsu has done for you in terms of being able to manage anxiety, handle stress at work, and so forth?
Sure. First of all, I can tell you the story. Like I've come, training, and in the beginning, we train, we run around the mats, and we do our little drills. There's plenty of times where I was having intense anxiety, and I'm a master at hiding it. People can't really. My close friends, like Frank, they can see it, but most people can't. They can't see it because I'm pretty good at hiding it. Um,
So
but
you have a little bit of
oh,
anxiety
I definitely,
naturally.
and I naturally have anxiety. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Um, and anyways, running around the mats, and I didn't want to be there. You know what I mean? I just wanted to stay at home and just kind of curl up. You know what I mean? And I was literally, there was times where I was like, tears were coming down my face because it just was so bad, from the stresses of work and things that were going on. Um, after running around, we drill, we learn a move, we drill, and then we drill it, and my anxiety would subside a little bit. You know what I mean? Then we do the resistance drill, and then my anxiety it was pretty much under control at that point. And then when we rolled, my anxiety was non-existent. It was gone. It went away. I think that's, from keeping your mind busy, the camaraderie of your friends and the people that you're around. My mind is thinking about surviving and thinking about the fundamentals and the technical aspects of jujitsu. So my mind didn't really have time to be anxious of all the other things that were
Going on
going
in your
on in
life,
my life
you got to be present
in the
in the
moment,
moment,
1000%,
which is a gift
which is, yeah,
that very few things give you, but
yes.
jujitsu is one of those.
Absolutely. And I read a book from a psychiatrist about anxiety, just about mental health disorders and such. And he had mentioned that, a lot of people turn to meditation, Tai Chi, and things of that nature. And he actually, in that book, and he's a well-renowned psychiatrist, he mentioned jujitsu. He
As
said
one of
he
the
said jujitsu.
remedies
He did.
to
He did, yeah. And I was
anxiety.
like, wow, and it just kind of resonated with me when he said that. So.
That's what, Jason, if you recall, almost every interview we've done since the beginning has echoed that sentiment
Hmm.
that, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs, it's like you have so much on your mind and you're crazy. But when you come to jujitsu, everything disappears. When you're rolling with somebody,
Yeah,
that wrist that you want to grab that's where you are, 100% of you.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like floating in a pool where all the gravity, all the joints, all the pressure, basically it's a zero kind of gravity place for your brain to be and just to be in the moment, right?
yeah.
Absolutely, and that translates probably to your job, I'm assuming, Mike.
Oh,
So,
absolutely,
so you
absolutely.
feel
Yeah.
the reduced anxiety when you're training, all right? So
Yes.
by the time you leave the mats, you walk out and you feel so much better, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so does that happen at work too? Do you think that jujitsu has helped you to manage your anxiety even more at work as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because exercise, first of all, helps with anxiety. So if you're exercising 3 or 4 times a week, you know what I mean? Your body is at a calmer state. If I'm training in jiu-jitsu 3, 4 times a week, when I'm at work, I'm a little bit more calmer and I can focus, But also, in jiu-jitsu, you're trying to find a way out. You know what I mean? And you're thinking about how to survive and how to, get around things. So in the emergency room, there's so many things going on. I mean, you have to know what is the most important thing to go to first. You can't go to something that's minor and let something major happen because what happens is then that person, it's a life death situation can happen. So you have to, under pressure, you have to know where to go first, and be able to deal with that pressure. It's like I made um, I said the J one time, it's like being in a burning building and you have to find a way out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Everything's burning around you, and you have to find a way. So in Jutsu, if I'm rolling with you, Frank, um, it won't happen with you, but with most people, um,
Okay, that hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings. The viewers are not going to look positively on you. So go ahead. Go ahead.
it was, when he's trying to get me in his north south, his famous north south or whatever, I'm trying to find a way out. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm trying to find a way out. At work, it also relates to the same thing. A patient is being volatile. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to de-escalate that situation. You know what I mean? By
Mm,
talking to him and taking steps before he becomes violent. And if he does become violent, then we take steps to make it so that I don't get hurt, he doesn't get hurt, and the other patients don't get hurt.
right.
So, and the same thing, just and with the patients, you know what I mean? Going to the person that needs my attention more than the other one, and working with other people, the doctors, the PAs, the
A
NPs,
team of
a
people.
team
Right?
of people, and they trust you after a while. I can just walk up to them and say, hey, this person has chest pain. Can I give a set of chopes, an EKG, CBC, Chem 7? Go right ahead. Boom. They put the orders in and I go do it.
Similar camaraderie.
Similar camaraderie, right.
You know what I think's interesting about that? It's almost like when he's in this chaotic position with different patients in different situations. It's kind of like you always teach us, Jason. First survive, right? Then escape,
Yeah.
then get a good position, then get your submission. You
Mhm.
teach us how to think in
Yeah.
chaos, right? That's and he's saying basically what I'm hearing from
Yeah.
you is
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Who do you have to make sure that they have to survive? That's the first
Right.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And then who do you have to help get out of bad, like a bad health situation, escape from near death, right? And then you start to talk about treating them and the longer term things that they need.
Yes.
So you have your own kind of method,
Mm.
like a boilerplate almost, to help you think in tough times.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu is breeding that ability to be methodical and
That's
tactful.
it.
Yes.
Well said. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I'm Billy off, Frank. You know.
But, you know, you guys are
So-
beating up on me a lot.
And the breathing.
There, I just want to say to the listeners, they're really big on the mic, but when we get on the mats, they don't talk like that.
This is true.
They don't talk like
Frank will make sure he asks me to go light, but then he won't go light
that.
himself.
No, if I'm on top, I won't.
And you're all welcome down. And you're all welcome to come down and see this if you'd like. So.
Yeah, come on down.
Because we say the mats don't lie. You know.
The mats don't lie.
Mats
This is
don't
true.
lie.
It's tap-in time, your favorite part of the show. So we're having a great conversation with Mike Nichols right now, and we're just reaching out to our listeners to see if any of you work in the healthcare industry. And if you do, what kind of similarities do you see with your profession, with your challenges, and those that you find on the mats? Tap in right now. We're looking forward to hearing from you. There's the trail.
But sorry, breathing is also breathing in jiu-jitsu. You have to control your breathing, right?
Yeah.
In order for you to have more cardio.
Yeah, cardio and tranquility are so important. And those are two things that you do get from jiu-jitsu and that help you in every other aspect, your career, but even just your regular personal life. If you can find that way to breathe and have that good sense of cardio, that good sense of tranquility, that has a multitude of positive effects on your life.
Absolutely. Speaking of positive effects on your life, Frank, the relationships that you develop in jujitsu and the relationships that you develop at work are similar because you have to trust them. You have to trust your coworkers. You have to trust your training partners as well. So, Mike, can you talk a little bit about the professional relationships and the relationships that you've developed on the mats and correlate those a little bit for us?
Yeah, as I said earlier, in the emergency room, after working there for so long, team effort. You have doctors, you have radiologists, you have CNAs, and after a while, you can just go to the doctor, like I said, and tell them that this patient has these things going on, and they'll give you, and I let them know that I'm going to do these procedures. They don't even walk into the room. They just say, "Oh, yeah, no problem." I mean, they go see the patient afterwards, but and they all work together. You know what I mean? They call for X-ray. X-ray comes over. They bring them over. I bring them over. Bring them back. And I also met so many different types of people. I met doctors. I went to Florida with a couple of doctors. We went on vacations, went on trips together. And not just staff, but even patients, hearing like stories of World War II vets and Vietnam vets, you know what I mean? All these different types of personalities. Very, very interesting. In jujitsu, same thing. You have a group of people that you're training with that you have to trust one another, because you're, putting each other in, pretty awkward positions where you could hurt them, break their bones, put them to sleep, whatever. So that tap is very important, to trust that when you tap, that they're going to, you're trusting that when you tap, that they're going to stop with what move that they're doing.
And you're also trusting that they are not going to crank anything in
Exactly.
2 seconds.
Exactly.
Right? Because people can
Yes.
get an armbar I'm trusting you not to say, "Oh, I got his arm," and just wham, and it's this is not a competition right here,
Right.
right?
And the other thing is, if there is someone that comes to the gym that does that because they don't know any better or whatever, they're quickly corrected. We
Yeah,
all come together as a team, as a family, and that's another thing. It's a family. This is a family.
yeah,
At my job, it's a family in the emergency room. Everybody left the ER when COVID hit, and they had a party, and we all came together. And the director of the ER was there and said a speech or whatever, and it was like, a Netflix special had just ended.
that's
All the ER stories and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Same thing here in jujitsu. I have met some amazing people in jujitsu. I
Thank
mean,
you. I appreciate that.
yes. Other than Frank D'Amelio, but honestly, I've met doctors, you know what I mean? State troopers, NFL players, you know what I mean? Like, and I have my best friend, I have Jason Patterson, Frank D'Amelio. I love these guys. I know that they're there for me no matter what, and I'm there for them no matter what. And if it wasn't for jujitsu, I never would have met these people. I
100%.
never would have met them. I was out, I was sick. People are calling me, they're texting me, making sure that I'm okay, wondering how everything's going. I mean, so it's not just to learn how to defend yourself or to, you know, hurt somebody. You know what I mean? It becomes a family and a camaraderie at the same time. You know what I mean? A family, and um, it's amazing. It really is amazing. Jiu-jitsu changed my life. It really did change my life.
It's so interesting how jujitsu is a microcosm of the real world out there. Everything you learn here is applicable out there, and we just keep seeing this in every podcast that we do.
Yeah, and the relationships that you develop through spending time with these people. Mike mentioned about his coworkers and how he feels so comfortable and he feels that he can trust them. It's because of the time he spends with them.
Yeah.
And when you're on the mats and you're training with each other and you're sweating with each other all the time, you spend so much quality time with those people that you develop strong bonds, strong relationships. This past last weekend, I took my mom to the emergency room and I was in the ER and I was witnessing all of the moving parts. So there were probably 6 or 7 different, nurses, monitor, doctor.
All
They
the
were,
registration
yeah,
through.
and they were just all
Yeah,
knowing what their role was and all trusting each other. All the moving parts were happening, and it looked confusing to me. And I took a step back and said, this looks confusing to me, but it doesn't to them. You know?
correct.
It's
So
controlled chaos. It's
yeah,
really
yeah, and jujitsu is like controlled chaos.
true.
Again,
Yeah.
the microcosm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You start training, you start rolling. For example, it comes to a sparring session, and you have a mat full of people, and you do a 5 minute round, and the next thing you know, you're jumping into another 5 minute round with somebody else and that person's a new person with a new body type and a new type of game,
right.
and you have to adjust to it quickly, very similar to somebody walking into the ER that has a role to do, and maybe you know them, maybe you've trained with them, been at work with them before, you've had responsibilities that you've shared together, so you kind of already have that trust, and you're like, oh, good, thank God so and so is here because now they're going to
Yes,
do this, you know.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's
Well
great.
said. Well
Yeah.
said.
So I'm sorry, Frank.
Just a quick
Yep.
last question, or unless you have another
Nope,
one.
nope, that's it.
What would you say, Mike, to people who are listening to this? Because a lot of people listen to this podcast to get the wisdom from the mats, even though they're not on the mats.
Mm.
What would you say to a professional that works in a high pressure situation field like you
Mhm.
do, that's considering maybe coming to a jiu-jitsu class, but they're like, oh, I'm gonna suck, or oh, I'm gonna get mauled, or oh my gosh, I'm gonna break an arm. What would you say to that professional out there that's hearing what we're talking about right now?
I would say we all were beginners. We all started out at the ground zero. You know what I mean? And I would say, go to a couple schools, take some classes, and see which culture fits you. I have to say that I don't think I've been to any jujitsu school where it was hostile. Every person I've trained with in jujitsu were stellar people. So I don't think you're gonna
I
have a
would echo
problem
that
with
too.
that.
Every school that I've
Yeah.
ever gone to, I've been to Spain, to Madrid. They just take you in like family. They're nice to you. Yeah,
And
It's
don't
hard to
wait.
find a bad school.
And don't wait.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Don't wait. Do it as soon as possible.
Yes.
You'll be glad you did. You really will. You know.
Great advice.
Yeah.
So, Mike, thank you so much for coming in here,
Thank you for having me.
sharing with our listeners, sharing with us. We love you. We appreciate you.
Love you guys.
And I will tap you one day.
So just some quick takeaways, Frank. So we talked a little bit about mindset. We talked about developing confidence through your skills. We talked about anxiety. We talked about the benefits of jiu-jitsu to deal with anxiety. We talked about relationships and how they are correlated between workplace and the mats. So we've got a lot of valuable information for our listeners today, Frank, right?
100%. That was a nice wrap up too. Very professional.
Yeah, that was good.
So be sure to follow us, follow the CareerJitsu podcast, like, share, download.
Share.
Yes.
Yes. Please help us continue doing this. We love to bring it to you. And we appreciate every listener out there. Thank you so much. Take care.
Well, there you have it. As we wrap up today's episode, let's take a moment to reflect on the powerful connections we've explored between the art of jiu-jitsu and your career. In your workplace and in jiu-jitsu, you learn to adapt and navigate challenges. So remember that persistence and the courage to embrace the lessons that you learn are the keys to your growth both on the mat and in your career.